Hi guys, Blake and Levi here with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on beautiful Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is August the 14th, Friday, and this is the OneCast. Today we boated up. We are right next to the tennis court at the moment, and I am throwing my TFO Temple Fork Outfitters 5-weight fly rod. I've got a big old carrot float. I've got about 11 foot a leader. I've got a 0.6 gram split shot on, about 14 inches above my first fly, which is a size 12 rainbow scud, and 12 inches below that I have a red San Juan worm. Levi is throwing an 1/8 ounce Lilleys brown head sculpin and ginger jig. They are currently running 4 units of water. They just kicked it up about an hour ago or so, and we're gonna see if one of us can find a fish today. Oh, let's see. So this morning I was at the end of the pier on the dock taking a couple casts, and I didn't have any bites, and I looked down and I started to see scuds everywhere. If you get on our Facebook page, you'll see the video that we posted. There were millions of scuds from one end of the dock all the way to the other end. They were all over everywhere. There was a huge scud hatch. They were out swimming around on the surface of the water, and they were from the top of the water column all the way down to the bottom. Phil said in his 37, 38 years here, he's never seen anything like it. Dwayne said he's never seen that many before. It was just really cool experience. So anyway, that probably explained why I couldn't catch anything off the dock, because the trout are probably gorging themselves on scuds. Nothing on the first cast. So anyway, that prompted me to bring a scud up here anyway. I know that once they turned the water on, all those scuds started washing downstream, but certainly the fish are out here looking for that, or their bellies are completely loaded and they're laying on the bottom with belly aches right now. I'm not sure which one. But this method for me, coming out here dragging the double scud or a San Juan worm and a scud, has been the best method I've found for middle of the day fishing, which it is middle of the day right now. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. And that's been the method that I've been using to catch fish in the middle of the day when I go out. Last night they had the water off. Levi and I went up and did some exploring. Levi caught his biggest trout to date at 21.5 inches, rainbow. We were using the Signature Series jerkbaits last night. But lots of cool things last night. We discovered different pathways that we can walk up there, and saw lots of sculpin fish in the water. Whole bunch of them. I couldn't believe how many sculpins there were in the water. And saw some Lake Taneycomo crawdads for the first time. Probably saw 4 or 5 crawdads. One of them was as big as my hand, or as long as my hand. Which I've always been curious whether we had those in here or not, and they were certainly up there on the bottom. Let's see, Dwayne had a trip this morning. They were throwing the pink power worm under a float, and said that they had lots and lots of bites and didn't get as many hook sets as they would have liked to, but they still caught a good number of fish. Captain Bill Babbler was up here this morning and did very well with a micro jig underneath of a float. And everyone, with the water being off and everything, is having to downsize. You know, 6x tippet, 7x tippet. Ooh, there was a hit. Oh man, he hit that hard. In order to get the fish to play. The water's pretty clear now. Dwayne said something about the dissolved oxygen rate being about 4 point something parts per million, which is a little on the low side, still manageable, but that might be affecting the bite just a touch. I forget which other guide was. Oh yeah, it was Captain Tony Lilley was throwing a micro jig with a midge underneath the micro jig this morning and said that he caught lots of fish as well. And I think I heard someone mention something about night crawlers, catching fish on night crawlers this morning, blowing up with air. So a few good fishing reports from this morning. I know that the last 2 days in a row, yesterday afternoon and the afternoon before that, the conservation stocking boat came through. And they stopped right below our dock each time. So there should be some brand new stocker fish in the water. I'm not exactly sure if I have quite enough leader down there right now. Oh, there we go. Now my indicator's bumping the bottom there. Well, not the indicator, but I can see that the weight's bumping the bottom. Indicator's getting pulled a little bit. That's good. Started off pretty cloudy today. Looked like almost like it was gonna rain, but it cleared up now. We got just about bluebird skies, and feels like it's approaching 90, but I'd say we're still in the high 80s somewhere. Hoping to see more scud hatches like the one we had this morning. If that happens, we will have some extremely fat fish in the lake. And a lot of the ones we've been catching at night especially have been very healthy 18 to 20 inch fish that have just enormous bellies. But if we get a few more scud hatches like that, I just can't imagine how fat all these fish will be. They may not be able to fight. Oh, there was one. If you get a chance, they've been turning the water off at night. A good chance to go up to the dam and do some wade fishing. I mean, we walked anywhere from 200 yards below the island up top to 100 yards in front of the island and never found water any deeper than, per se, just a little bit below our waist. So it's definitely walkable. Obviously you need to be careful. There's lots of big rocks to trip on, but if you just shuffle your feet, there's plenty of opportunity for catching fish. Like we were using jerk baits last night, but there was a few guys up there I talked to that were using streamers and they were catching a bunch of fish too. So if you haven't ever tried night fishing at Taneycomo with the water off, is definitely a good time to come try it. I'll tell you what, that sun came out from behind them clouds and it is warming up out here. The boat ride up, the sun was hidden, and I thought it was going to be just perfect temperatures. I came up here the other day in the middle of the day and threw this same combo I'm throwing now with the red San Juan worm and the rainbow scud, and did really well on that San Juan worm. But I don't know, I tend to do better on the red San Juan worm whenever when the water is or when it's cloudy and heavy water flow like we have now. The water was running the same the other day when I did it as it is now, but the only difference was the sky was cloudy. I had a couple bites here, but they certainly seem to kind of shut down at the moment. Yeah, it looks like I do have some moss here on my scud. It seems like these fish just don't want to play today. If the hatch was as good up here as it was down by our dock, that is a hard to compete with. When there's that many scuds in the water and the fish have the option to just swim through and pick off as many of those as they want, it's going to be a lot harder to catch fish. I do have a wind blowing the boat back upstream, slowing us down, so I'm having to do a lot of casting. Unfortunately, the more I have to pull the rod up and recast it, the less time I have with my flies drifting in the water. I could point the nose downstream and kind of speed the boat up and keep it even with the current, but we're both doing two different methods here, so if I do that, it'll screw up the jig fishing that Levi's doing in the back. Yeah, I think we'll fish the Eagle Island flat and then call it a day. I'm gonna get real close in on that flat over there and see if I can pick something up in the riffly water off that end of that tree. I'd like to know what a fish looks like today. Oh, I saw a fish jump. I know there's at least one in the water. Oh no. Right at the wrong moment I picked up grass. Okay, I got it off. There's a little riffle that comes off the end of this tree, and it's also a spot where the water goes from really shallow and drops off real quick. It all happens to be right there where the end of that tree is. That's usually a pretty good spot to pick up a fish. I had a bite and I was looking down at the trolling motor. Ha-ha! I did find a fish. Kind of curious if he ate the San Juan worm or the scud. And so there's a line here where you can see the light colored gravel and the dark colored gravel, and I was fishing that right there on that dark line. Well, maybe we don't get to see what a fish looks like today. I must not have had him hooked very good. He did have the scud in his mouth. I did get to see that much. Oh, well, they are either short biting it pretty good, or I just don't know how to set a hook today. Probably option number 2, but that first 2 hours of daylight has definitely been the best bite other than nighttime fishing lately. So if you're coming out here or you're here now and you're planning on getting into the water, I highly suggest Getting out here as early as you can. I'm gonna send this thing out there one more time while we're drifting through this shallower water, and then we're gonna call it a day. Kind of right here in the eddy behind Eagle Island. I think this is about the spot where the state record was caught. I can't remember. No, it can't be this spot. It had to have been a little farther down. Oh my. Oh wow. That felt like a really heavy fish. I thought I was hung up for a second. I started feeling him shake his head and he was just holding it there. Wow. Darn it. Oh, I had one get away and missed about 5 bites so far. There we go. And he took the San Juan worm. There, little buddy. Just a little guy. Oh, there he goes. All right, I can't end it there. I gotta have one more cast. That's one of the last cast rules. Pretty sure. If you catch a fish, you get another cast. Well, I'd say they're still biting it pretty good. They're either just really quick biting it, or once again, I'm not that quick today. Either way, still seems like a pretty good option if you're going to be out here fishing in the middle of the day and you can't manage to get that morning bite in. And you can do this on under a float, on a spin cast rod, on a fly rod, or you can use the spin cast rod and do a drift rig and drag the scuds and the flies. So a few different ways to approach it. Yeah, I think I can spare a couple more minutes. Oh gosh. About fell off my feet there. I don't think quite all of the trash has flowed out of the water yet. I'm still looking at quite a bit of leaf debris and loose moss in the water. I didn't like that last cast either. I think that's another rule. If you don't like the cast, you can take another one. When I'm dragging flies on a drift rig and I'm going past these docks, I like to throw them up at an angle behind the dock and let the line sink down and drag underneath the dock. Caught a lot of fish doing that. A little harder to do when you got an indicator on. Okay, I guess I'm gonna call it. Well, we surely appreciate you guys watching today, and like and share us on Facebook, and if you get a chance, get on the Facebook page and check out the video of those scuds. It's pretty cool. Anyway, thanks for watching today, guys, and we'll see you again tomorrow.